This is Jonathan from ETHOS DECORUM. I'd like to welcome you to Sessions. On this version of Sessions, we're going to go over reselling and the vintage game. So I have with me Tobes from Drift Lord. I have Rob from Drifters. These two gentlemen are real dope individuals, very eclectic, and they run businesses as far as the vintage game. So let's get into it. Fellas, if you can introduce yourself, Tobes, introduce yourself.
Yo, this is Tobes. I run a buy, sell, and trade store called Thrift Lords. We are located in Manassas, Virginia. It's out the cut, but we got some fly shit, so come through to the shop, check it out, et cetera, you know what I mean? But yeah, definitely.
What about you, Rob? Introduce yourself.
I'm Rob. I co-own Drifters and one of the 4 guys for Street Market Gallery, among other things.
So I'm looking at 2 guys who are heavy into the vintage game, heavy into the resale game. It's a lot going on, especially since COVID. Everybody's a thrifter, everybody's a reseller. I mean, I'm not even going to even start with I'm not even going to start controversial. I'm going to start with, how did you guys get into like the vintage game? I'm gonna start with you, Rob. How did you get into the reselling game?
So I grew up poor, so I kind of grew up on trading and like the whole like concept of like the barter system. So I was always picking up new things, and then when I wore it a few times, I'd get rid of it and get something else. And then we thrifted, we did all that, and then when I linked up with Gio was a big thrifter. And at that time, I had a little bit more money. I was more into like the streetwear stuff. And then he kind of pulled me back in with like the old Ralph and things like that. And then we started a business, and it turned into what Drifters is today.
Okay, cool. What about you, Tobes? How did you get into the thrifting game? I know before you even start, I know you got a crazy story. You was talking about you was in your mom's basement.
Yeah, man. So I guess even like, before that, I had to do community service, because then, this was like back in, it's like 2015 when with like weed, they were still giving people like 2 years, community service, random drug tests, this and that.
VA.
Yeah, dog. So then like I had to do like that, and then my mom was like, yo, so then do it at like the Thrift. I know the manager, da. I'm like, yo, mom, I ain't trying to like do that. And then she's like, Tobore, come on now. So I was like, all right, fuck, I go. So like then I went, and I was in the back, and I was taking the clothes out. I'm like, yo, this is a brand new Columbia joint, and it was like $20. But then at that time, I like knew this was like a $60 like code or $80 code. And this was like 2014. And then I was there for a week, and I just saw like a bunch of shit. And then after that, I was like, yo, I think I should listen to my mom more and like actually thrift. So then I would just like thrift a lot. And then my boy Brown, like, he would thrift too, blah, 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 blah. So then we was doing that for maybe like a year or 2. And then to fast forward, this was like 2015. That was when we was like, yo, let's sell clothes on like the gram. But then at the time, this was like way, at the time, this was when people sold like clothes on the gram. It's like, yo, is this a scam? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then we was like, yo, let's just sell clothes on the gram, but let's try to like make this shit cool, kind of like a Tumblr on Instagram. And that was our whole, I guess, like business like plan. And then, just one thing just led to another. And then July 2017 is when I got the shop. But yeah, before that, I was posting clothes from my mom's like basement, and she would be like mad as hell, like, so now I like come to like the like States for you to sell shirts for $10 now. I'm like, look, mom, like I got the plan. It's like, I told her right now, do you see your sister has a 3.5 and you like want to sell clothes now, and you were not doing good in school. I was like, damn, I'm like, you just grilling me. So then, like, you know what I'm saying? I was just dealing like with that like for a while. And then I was just like, yo, fuck it. Look, Mom, I'm just going to be like the hard-headed one in the family. It is what it is. And then, yeah.
I mean, you know, that's a good point you bring up, because both of you guys talking about doing a straight legitimate business and being like, hey, I'm going to start a business from thrifting, like vintage selling. That's a hard business. People don't realize that. Anybody can flip one shirt. You can pop up somewhere and see a shirt and be like, yeah, that's cool. But to do it in and out day after day consistently, that's a hard business. So I want you guys to talk about, talk about what people don't see as far as when you're like, hey, you know what? I have a reselling business. Because before you even start that, everything looks glamorous on the internet. So you see some dude, he in a barn, and then next thing you know, he's like, I got this shirt, it's Smashing Pumpkins, it's $800, and then next thing you know, he's in a Ferrari. But that's not the reality of life.
Not at all.
So like, tell us like, what's it like running it to say, listen, I'm gonna be a reseller. Officially, this is a business. What's some of the things that people just don't see?
Financial literacy. That's for one. I think understanding the actual market that you're in and understanding how to like forecast what's cool, what's not cool, what people are actually going to want. I think also having an open mind to like buy things that you may not like, that somebody else may, and I know you feel me on that, like that somebody else may go see and be like, damn, you know what, that's hard. And then I think that what that evolves into is the ability to actually curate and become the example of what is cool. And I've noticed that, like, I think Round 2 was one of the first shops that I saw, like, really, not only were they selling, but they were like, if they sold it, other people were like, oh, well, Round 2's selling that, so we're going to sell that. Yeah. Because it became a thing of understanding, like, okay, these people know what cool is, so we're going to give them cool. Like, every single seller has the ability and the probability to become something great if they understand all these different aspects to running this business. Like, you can't be good at just one thing. Unfortunately, like getting into a business like this, you have to know how to forecast. You have to know how to track your finances. You have to know how to actually make a profit. You got to know, like, perceived value. You need to be able to go into a thrift store and also, like, sometimes you'll go to a thrift store and see some old Ralph, and you have to know, like, yo, this is Ralph, but it's not good Ralph. Not all Ralph is good Ralph. Nice. You know what I mean? Like, not all Nike is good Nike. So it's understanding the market that you have and understanding that, like, what you're selling is kind of who you are as a seller. Yeah. I think also, like, customer service is a big thing, like giving the customers a positive experience, being somebody that's likable, because it's an oversaturated market. There's 1,000 vintage shops. In the DMV, there's probably 500 plus people that sell vintage. Right. How can you stand out? And I think it's like understanding and developing a plan to know, okay, like, I need to do this. I need to present this way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna sound a little controversial.
Yeah. Give us some controversy, Rob.
I don't trust any vintage seller that doesn't have style. Like, how you gonna sell me clothes that you can't dress?
I don't. It's funny that you say that. I'm gonna get to you, Tobes, because I'm gonna ask you that same question. But I feel like that about fashion designers. And this is probably a different episode, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't trust any fashion designer that can't dress. My category is this for a fashion designer. Either you can dress or you're very basic with your dressing, because you're so focused on the brand that you're like, just give me the jeans and a white tee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Some people do jeans and a white tee real well.
But you're right. But we're gonna get back to that, because what you're talking about now is you can't be a vintage seller without having this knowledge or this history of what you're selling anyway. So if you was like he said, Columbia, right? You were in a thrift store, like a Goodwill, and you were working there. You saw a Columbia jacket. You knew that, hold on, this Columbia jacket, I saw this probably in a music video like 10 years ago. I know Columbia is hip. Even if it's not hip right now, I know what this brand means. So you have that built-in knowledge. You can't just come off the street and be like, I'm gonna start selling vintage tomorrow. You're not gonna have that built-in knowledge. You know what I mean? So back to that though, Tobes. What are some of the things that people don't see from your standpoint?
let me see, is I guess one of the like big like things is people are like, well, if you got it for $20 and you're selling it for such and such, you should sell it for this.
That's absurd.
And it's like one is like, you know, I'm like, one, there's such a thing as a like, you know, when I have like the actual shop, it's like, you know,
overhead.
Like I have to pay rent. I got to pay the people that like work there, et cetera, et cetera. So like, you know, I'm not like, okay, I bought this for 20 and I sold it for 80. So now I'm just keeping all of like the rest. I'm like, okay, this goes there, this goes there, this goes there, and then this is what I keep, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, people be like, come on, bruh, like I know you got it for this, you know you got it for that. And
That should be pissing me off.
yeah, I know, I'm not gonna lie. I like, you know, I don't have a short fuse, but I feel like sometimes like, you know, I like have like just this look of like, yo, dog, I'm not about to go back and forth.
Remember, I can fight too.
Like low key, yo, I'm not gonna lie. One thing that is like, it's a very random thing that I guess I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does, I'm ready. It's like, you know, I'm like, if someone tries to come in the store and just like, you know, try to like run out. I'm like, yo, I swear to God, I'm gonna hit him with an elbow. I'm gonna put him in a little clinch. I'm like, yo, this is my opportunity.
But the price is, but that's what a lot of people don't realize. The price is the price, right?
Yeah.
So just like you guys, I don't have a thrifting business, but I've sold so many times, right? I've bought so many times from so many places. You could go to a Goodwill, you can go to a vintage warehouse, you can spend 4 hours in there and not see nothing.
Right.
People don't realize the time and energy.
Wasted.
Just
Not wasted, but
it's
like
not wasted
spent.
because you love it, the passion, but the time spent, right? You could actually pick up some, look at it and be like, yeah, this is worth something. You could take it home and then you inspect it because you were in the moment and then you're like, nah,
Facts.
I can't even sell this. Or I'll give you
That
one
happened to
better.
me 2 days ago. I
Okay,
went to
tell
a
that
yard
story.
sale and I bought some vintage sweatpants. They were breakaways. They were nice, all mesh. And I get home and there's a whole, Andy noticed it, there's a whole burn mark on the back of the sweats. I'm like, these are worthless now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot, but it's the concept of like, yo, you really never know. You could buy something and get home and realize it's ripped, it's stained, it's messed up, it's like uncleanable or whatever. And your investment is gone. You can't go back to that person's house and go be like, hey man,
Can I take
I
this
noticed
back?
this. Can I? No. So like, there's a lot of L's that are taken in this business, and we eat the L.
But I also, so listen, I saw this salt and pepper sweatshirt. This is probably like 6 years ago. I'm thrifting and I saw this salt and pepper sweatshirt. And it's like the dopest sweatshirt ever. It's not even graphics. They're like cartoon characters, and it was from one of their tours. And I'm in there like, this is crazy. I'm looking around. I'm like, you know that feeling. I'm gonna ask you about that feeling too. When you find like the greatest come up of all time, that feeling is crazy, right? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, who even put this on the floor? I pick up the shirt and I flip the back, and the whole back is just
Ripped.
it's gone.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, hold on, we can mend this. I'm like, yeah, this is, and it's just, that's it. And then your whole mood is just all messed up. So both of y'all tell me about some of the craziest pickups you ever had to where you're like, this is crazy. I can't believe everybody passed this.
I found some Margielas. I found some Margiela jeans I was in Fairfield, Connecticut, by the beach, and it was like straight Nike polos, like golf. It was all golf gear. It was plaid shorts and Nike polos the whole way through. And then I see the little number tag, because Margiela got I was like, nah. And I go over there and I check, and it was Margiela jeans. And then my boy Tyler traded me like some 1960s like mended jeans and like this crazy Porsche tee that I brought that for those, I paid $10 for them, and I got probably like $400 worth of shit out of them. And yeah, like that was one of those things. I've found out tons of like the remember the OG Nike, all the like the 97 Griffies, it was a Nike Air Jetpack. It was a bunch of old ACGs. I bought like probably like 30 pairs. I paid like 150 for all of it.
Oh wow. So
Yeah, it was on Facebook Marketplace. I'm in the bathroom.
You talking about that was Facebook, right?
It was Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I saw when you kind of you was on like stories on IG, and I was like, where is this place? Like, where is this place?
That was a good come up.
That's crazy. What about you, Tobes?
Let's see. I think it was like 2018, 19. I found it was a Supreme box like logo, but it was what's it called? It was the gray hoodie, I think. So then, like, you know, throughout the years, you like kind of have a feel of like, oh, is this real? Is this fake? Whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then, so then, like, I, saw it, and it was at the Subway. It was like $10. I'm like, all right, bet, like, it looks real, whatever, boom, boom, boom. So then, at that time, I kind of didn't know much about, I guess, with like tags, if this is fake, this is real, this and that, because my whole thing until probably around like 2018 and 19, which kind of just helps, I guess, with the flow of the shop. I've just always thought like, yo, if like this shit is cool, I'm just gonna buy it. Mm-hmm. So like I've never been like, this is not from 1994, like I'm not gonna get it or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then I bought the joint and I was like, all right, I think it's real. And then at the time, I would go to Joe. So
People's Place.
Yeah. So then so then I'll go to Joe because like Joe, like, you know, he just knows a lot about just like streetwear, this and that. And then, you know, I was like, yo, like, is this real, whatever? He looked at it, boom, boom. And, you know, he was like, yeah, boom, boom. So I didn't sell it to Joe, but I sold it to somebody else, I think for like $280. And yeah, I bought it for like, it was $9.99. And so then I was like, I bet.
Crazy.
And
that's crazy.
That was the time where I feel like box logos were going crazy at that.
Yeah.
Like that was 2018, 2019.
Yeah, and then at the time, people were like selling it for like $4. So then like, you know what I'm saying, like $3 or $4. So then.
So you sold it for a steal.
Yeah, but then at that time, I'm like, yo, if I make more than $200, $300 a week, like from clothes, I'm like, yo, like I'm lit. So I was like, yo, like, you know, we're like up. So
it's always, I got one for you. So I found this Fuji shirt, and we're gonna talk about regret too. We're gonna talk right after I tell y'all the story. Y'all tell me about some regret, some of the stuff y'all sold. I found this. This is probably 7 years ago. I found this Fuji's T-shirt, full print, ready or not. Back and front, full print. Damn. Right?
Dry rot.
No, it was good. And as soon as I found the shirt, I was like, this is crazy. I couldn't fit it like 100%, but if I lost a little bit of weight, I could have. And someone was like, man, just hold on to this. But I was like, nah.
I know you too.
$5, right?
I know you too.
$5, right? So I find a shirt, I buy it, I put it online, probably eBay or something like that. The shirt sold like that for like $150.
No.
But it was the same day, and I was just like, damn.
You know,
this shirt sold too quick.
It's so quick.
So I'm wrapping up the shirt, and then I look on there, and just in a little print, it said promo. And I'm just like, hold up. This is just like no regular, it just almost looked like it was a Fuji last shirt that they did for some promo before the tour or something like that. I was just like, this is crazy. And that shirt probably go for like at least $1,000 right
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like $1,000 T-shirt.
Yeah, it's a $1,000 T-shirt.
Dry rot? That sounds like $1,000 plus T-shirt.
I got it for like $5, man. I came up like it was $1. It was $1.50 like before the day was over. I was like, good. But like it had this weird feeling when I sold the shirt, like, man, you should have held on to this. And he's like, so, you know, it happened. So I need y'all to give me some stories of regret. Some that you sold that you just like, I should have just held on to my personal inventory. Because we all got a personal inventory of a few pieces that we just kind of holding on to for like the strangest reason.
I feel like, I want to say regret, but then I was like, probably should have charged more. So around that same time, 2018, 19, a lot of, Mighty Duck stuff was like, you know, was like going off. So I found this Mighty Ducks hockey jersey, and I posted it at the Thrift, and it sold before I even got like through like the line. And then and then I bought it for like I think it was like $14.99. So then I sold it online for like $85, and then I had like 3 or 4 of my friends like, bruh, that's $200, bruh, that's $250, bruh, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know what? That was when hockey jerseys were big too. Yeah.
So then, like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, so then, like, I've had things like that happen, like, I would say probably at least like 5, 6 times, but my whole, I guess, mentality toward it is I'm just kind of like, yo, I'm always gonna find fly shit. So fuck it. I probably would have made like maybe $200 more, but then I'm like, yo, I'm me, and I'm gonna find some more fly shit. So it is what it is. You know
Let
what
the
I mean?
rotation
So,
keep on rotating.
That's a good way to keep yourself from like being mad at yourself. Because I definitely.
What about you, Rob? Like, I know you then.
I probably got like 20
man.
things I've done that with, but I think the only thing that I really look back on and I'm like, all right, so this is an old sale or it's a trade. Remember the Carolina Foamposite Pro?
yeah.
I had 2 pairs, but I had a crisp size 10, my size. The bottoms were still white. The laces were good. The leather was perfect. They were wearable. And I traded them for the Rookie. You remember the Nike Rookie? Remember the Rookie? And they did like the glow in the dark pair. They did like a House of Hoops. I traded them for the Rookies before they came out. And the Rookie was a shoe that dropped. That shoe today, I could probably find a fresh pair for like $60.
Damn.
Those, I had the Paranorman foam. I had the Paranorman foams. And it was a good trade, but I wish I didn't get rid of them. I traded them for like 30 pairs of shoes. But like that shoe now is like $8,000.
That's the biggest L you ever took?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I turned that 30 into like 150 pairs of shoes, and then like.
What about you,
all that.
Tobes? You took some L's to where you like, man, or just in the business side of things.
Yeah, so then,
I got one for that.
like,
Yeah.
Like, it may not be just a piece you sold, but just the business side. I saw you, not even cut you off, but I saw you literally build your whole shop. That was crazy.
yeah, man, it's
That's stuff people don't see.
They don't see it.
it's just I've had I don't know, cause I feel like the way I got into the vintage game, it may be a little different from y'all, because I think as time went along, I became more into fashion and clothing, because it was weird. Like, I always had this like stigma, especially early on, 2015, 16. I was just like, man, I'm not really like a fashion person. I just like shit like that's fly. Some people are, oh man, like you're really into fashion. I'm like, nah, bro. I just like to just make some money, bro. Like, I mean, whoever.
I like that.
So then it's kind of like, if it's with the store or the stuff I would sell, it like, wasn't from a place of like, I have to create this type of thing and this and that. It was kind of like good and bad, because I definitely ran into a bunch of just like stupid shit like along the way, but it was just more of like, yo, I feel like people like to fuck with cool people. I think I'm cool, so let me sell some clothes and figure this shit out. So then as time like, went along, I like learned more like about clothes. It's like, oh, okay, like this tag is from this area. This is single stitch compared to like double stitch. This is blah, blah, blah. So it's just with me, I kind of grew into it because of, I'm like, if I got to grow the business, I got to grow, like learn like more. But it was just kind of from a place of like, man, I think I know what people like, but I don't really know much about clothes. I'm just like, this shit look cool, and for some reason, I feel like y'all gonna buy it. And then just over time, like things like, now it's like, okay, I like this because of that. Did like, certain people like this. This tag is worth this or that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so it's like, I don't have any big, like, things of like, damn, I fucked this up, this and that. Cause I think now it's grown more, but I've just never been a person that's really been super attached to clothes. I've just been like, man, I got this shit for like $8 and this shit was worth $50. and my paycheck at the time was maybe like $200 a week. So I'm like, yo, like I'm lit, I'm fly, I can go out to the parties, I can get some ladies, like I'm good now. So, and then as time went along, I was like, okay, I gotta turn this into a business somehow. Like I can't just be like, yo, I'm fly, buy my shit. You know what I'm saying? So.
But what you're talking about is curation, right? So you're saying, like, you're talking about the idea that you could walk in there, you could see something, you could see a piece, and you could say, listen, I know somebody's gonna want this.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the most popular thing, I know somebody's gonna want this. We, both you and I, we talked about this where we may see a artist from like the 50s or 60s, and you
Yeah.
just know it. We talk about it all the time about art. Like, you just see a t-shirt and be like, hold up.
I know this
This
from the
t-shirt
70s.
is like a painter from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna mess with this. So you're curating something. You're creating that whole, like, you have the store and you have drifters, but it's like a vibe because now I can come to your store because I know you're gonna give me a selection. I'm not just gonna come to your store and it's all just gonna be like 90s jerseys.
Yeah, because then, you know, that's one thing. I guess going back to the first like thing that you asked is what's a thing that a lot of people overlook? It's like, and I see it all the time, and I feel like, you know, it's changed over the past couple years. I would always say to myself, which is like, yeah, as I said, to about like 2 years ago, I was kind of like, I don't know why people fuck with the shop, but it is what it is. Because it was like, in like my like head, I would see other stores. If it's you, if it's Joe, if it's just like, just people that I know. And like, I like didn't see it like in shade, but then I was like, yo, like these folks got some fly ass shit. And I'm like, man, I got this $20 shirt. Like, I mean, so I was kind of like, fuck, all right, I get fly shit, but I don't really get super fly shit. So then at the same time, it was probably because I just didn't have like the bread too, et cetera, et cetera. So then I just kind of leaned like more into like, yo, I gotta present certain things in a certain way to capture people's attention. And then even outside of that, I was like, that. And then I'm like, I have to get things that people don't know is fly until they see it in the right setting. Because then there is a lot of times I would put on a coat or a fit, and I'm just doing my random shit on like the store. People was like, yo, bro, yo, is this in like the shop? Is this like in the store? Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, yo, like, my nigga, this shit been sitting here for like 2 months. But then it's like, you know, a lot of people, unless it's some trendy shit, they don't know what is something that would be stylish for them until they see it on someone else, or like, you know, if they see it put in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I feel over time, I guess that's kind of leaning me more like into the fashion sense of things, but it was just always like, all right, I got limited funds, so I gotta present a cool vibe, or I gotta find shit that isn't hyped up yet so I can buy it for like the low, but then still like sell it for like a decent
Premium
price. Yeah.
I think that's something that both of you guys do real well, is you guys really present certain items to people that they may not necessarily consider, and they're looking at it on your social media feed, they're going to your store, they're going to an event that you guys have, and they're seeing these pieces and they're going, oh, I like this. This is something I might wear. So you guys almost build this idea of fashion into like the reselling business, fashion into thrifting, but also curating into thrifting, to where you guys are like secret stylists without saying it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, I see you. For example, you put on, like on a slow day, you put on a coat and you put it in stories. You see what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh,
I like the way that looks. Yeah.
I'm going like that. Like, that's a cool coat. Okay, you do that with the leather jackets all the time.
Yeah.
All the
Leather jackets
time,
is-
right?
that's my thing.
And I see that Rob where he'll do the layout, and you know, he may kind of have like these set of like you know, like, hey, these are 2 Ferrari t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? And these are 2, like, this is the concept, this is the theme. And then when you see that, or even like drifters, when you guys do the events, you're like, oh, hold on, I haven't seen those sneakers in a long time. Man, I need to cop. And the truth is, that you almost got me the other day too. You had some CDG Nikes, and I was like, yeah. I might have to cop. Nah, hold up. Hold up. This is I'm in the trap right now. I gotta get out of here. So that's something that you guys do well. I want each of you guys to also talk about how you guys build other parts of the businesses where you're not just selling vintage clothes online or with a store. So for example, I know you have the market that you do once a month. I want you to talk about that. And definitely Tobes, I want you to talk about this crazy thing where I saw you at a rave selling clothes. That was wild. I was like, hold up. So there's a lot of people selling vintage stuff, but you got to be a thinker to be like, listen, I'm going to go in certain spaces and create my own lane. So I want you to start, Rob, with like the monthly market that you started with home court. Because that's just a dope concept with community.
Yeah, no, I mean, we started the market in 2021. I think 2021. No, 2022, because it's our third year. And like the initial point was that we just didn't feel like we had like a really good Maryland market. There's like markets in Baltimore, but like Baltimore is in its own area. Shout out to Baltimore. I love Baltimore. But like, you know, in this general vicinity, there's not a whole lot going on in terms of like events. We have little small ones that are okay. But, you know, we felt like between the Drifters team and the home court team that we could really put together, you know, a curated market with different small businesses. And we felt like both of us had the contacts to really reach out and bring people from, I mean, you've been to the market. We've brought people from VA. We bring people from North Carolina. Too. Yeah, Delaware, Philly, New York. I had a guy trying to come out from Detroit. There's a couple of people coming out like from Chicago. So it's growing. But like creating the space, because that's the thing is sometimes the ability to make the money in the area is scarce because people don't know where to shop. People don't know how to find you. So what you do is you make a central location where other people can market your event too, where now each of these 40 vendors is marketing the market for themselves. So they're doing the job for us. I mean, we do market and put ad dollars behind it now. But like being able to curate a space and constantly cycle out new vendors and have people come out and make money. And also we're able to make money. And at the same time help the local community grow, you know, so that's how that's come about.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, I'm gonna get to you, Tobes, because listen, I just saw you one day, you was like, I'm going to the rave, and then next thing I know, this is all on social media, y'all. I just saw this, listen to me. I saw this dude, it's this big, tall, black dude, he's like, I'm going to the rave, and next thing you know, he's selling t-shirts at a rave, and I was like, this is wild. Like, break that down. I know you also do events at the store.
Yeah.
But you got to start with the raves. How did you end up, and you were selling t-shirts at a rave? That's wild.
So I guess the backstory. So then, because I feel like I can go on for forever. So I'll try to compress it down. But the first part, this was, man, what year was that? 2020? Yeah, man, 2022, crazy year. So it was 2022. I was hosting this joint called smoking shop at like my like store. And then I was doing that for like a couple months. And basically it was like folks would come through, we would get high. The store's like a lounge smoke shop where like people would smoke by tree, by clothes. We're all just vibing, chilling, whatever, boom, boom, boom. So then one of my friends came by and was like, yo, bro, like I love like this vibe, bro, boom, 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 boom. So then he was like, yo, I'm a DJ. Could I DJ at your like next joint? So then, you know, I was kind of like, yeah. So then like, you know, he was like, yeah, so like I do like this like techno type of vibe, and you know, maybe I was just being very like, what's the word? Like just like not knowing about the scene or just being very closed-minded, whatever, this or that. So like I was like, yo, bro, look at me, bro. Do you think I'm fucking listening to techno? And then like, cause it's like, you know what I'm saying? I like grew up listening to motherfucking T.I., Jeezy, Gucci Man, leaned out Gucci, you know what I'm saying?
Two extremes, techno and Gucci, that's two extremes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Techno.
crime mob, you know what I'm saying? Knuck if you buck, ready to fight at the house party, you know what I mean? So it was like, I'm not gonna say that was my only experience, but I grew up in
Yeah, that was your lane.
Yeah, that was my lane, friends, homies, whatever. So then he was like, bro, trust me, dog, like boom, 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 boom. So then we did the event next Saturday, and then, because before that, I thought all techno was like, Little John, EDM, mashup songs like turn down for what? Yeah. And I'm like, yo, to each his own, but like, bro, I'm not about to listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? So then motherfucking, so then like, he was like, bro, trust me, dog, I got you. I was like, I bet. So he comes to the joint and we was doing it from 7 to 10 and the whole night, it just felt like one long song, but it just felt like a flow and a vibe. And that was my first time like really listening to any type of like techno, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So then, when the joint was done, I was like, yo, this shit kind of smooth, woo boom. And then, he was like, bro, I told you, bro.
There's some cool techno out there, low key.
So then after that, I kind of just went on my own journey of like finding like techno. Then I came across house like music, house music, tech house, drum and bass, etc., garage, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then this was toward the end of the year. My homegirl was like, yo, like you've been posting a lot about techno. You should go to this event. Boom. So I went, and that was my first event, like that I ever went to off some like techno shit. And
how was it?
So I figured out like, okay, I knew I really loved it because, to keep it real, it's like most of the times, at least with me, maybe others is different, but then I'm like back in the day when I was going out, if it was to the club, to the bar, whatever, boom, 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 I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have a good time, yeah, whatever, but I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get some digits, I'm trying to holler, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like, what's good with you, whatever, boom, boom, boom. So then, like, I went to a techno joint and, I still did my thing, talk to a girl here and there, whatever, boom, boom, but then I was like, yo, I had a great night and I did not care if I tried to talk to a girl. And I was like, wow, that doesn't happen when I just go to fucking Bliss or fucking Rose Bar, you know what I'm saying? So then I'm like, man, I should really like, the scene. So then fast forward, I went to the same people that hosted it, I think it was like 2 months later. And I went to like the joint and like, I really just started to get more sense of the crowd. And I guess maybe internally I may feel that a little bit, but I was just like, And I say this in like a good way, but I was like, this is weird. I like this type of weird. Like it was like different. It was like, yo, people are very, eclectic. They're very like themselves. It's like, you may see like a dude just dressed up in some normal fly shit. Then like, you may see a girl dressed up in some fishnet shit. Then you may see a guy just like, it's a whole bunch of just different type of vibes that I did not necessarily see. And I just felt very comfortable because I'm like, yo, this is kind of how I internally think. It's cool to see it in a visual scene, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, so I saw this lady there and me and her just had like some small like talk and I was like, yo, like got a shop, whatever, boom, boom, boom. And they said, oh, yo, like you, like, you're like fit, So then she tells her like friends, whatever, boom, boom. So then come to find out the next day, I like see cause she like follows the page and she followed me, whatever. And then I see, oh, this is the lady that actually like runs the whole event. So then I got cool with her and then the guy that like runs the joint. So I just kept them going back and like, I still go out now, but like, yeah, I think like 2022, I went from going out maybe once every like 6 months to I was fucking out the rave every other weekend. I was like, yo, slow down, my nigga. Not 23 now. So then fucking, but then it was just such a new experience. I was like, yo, this shit's fucking lit. And then, so I like kept on like going to like the joints and then like I started to tell like my like friends. And then I said, most of my friends listening to fucking Carter 2, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, like the typical shit like you would think whatever, boom. And I'm like, yo, bruh, if you have an open mind, bro, check this shit out. I'm trying to tell you, bro, this shit be lit, ooh, boom. So then, like, you know, they was like, man, bro, ooh. I was like, bro, just come out. So then, like, I started to bring, like, my friends out there, whatever. So then I think this is, like, the third time, like, I went to their, like, event, and I kind of got cool with, like, the lady that, like, runs it, because it's Madeline and Kabir. Shout out to both of them, because they have really put on the shop a lot, and et cetera, et cetera. But, so then just like, yo, this is like a different idea, but whenever you come through to the raves, you bring the energy, cause I feel like I'm pretty chill, but when I'm out, I am not too cool to party. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing, whatever. So then she was like, yo, I love the energy, I love what you post, How do you think of bringing your clothes? We're gonna set it up in a certain way, boom, boom, boom. And then it just kind of clicked, because I'm like, a lot of these people are actually like super fly people here. And then, so we like did it the first time. It went crazy. And then I think that year I did like 3 or 4 events with them. I did one event with them earlier this year. So then, we just became like super like plugged in. And it was crazy because I guess like you kind of gotta have a feel of like what to bring, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, you would be surprised if it's the right crowd. They are not like complaining about the prices. They just shop this and that.
It's stylish.
Yeah, and it's and then it's like at the same time they like started to grow. The shop like started to grow too, because when I did my first, when I went to the first couple events, it was maybe like 150 people there, 200 people there, and then slowly it'd be like 500 people, 700 people. But then as they got more popular, they still wanted me to do different stuff with them, and then they was like, yo, boom, boom, boom. So to fast forward to now I'm just cool with all these random ass DJs and just like just fly folks, and then and I became like this like techno head per se, but it's like
full circle moment.
Full circle moment. You went from Carter 2 to
you went from what the fuck is techno to, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So then
that's wild.
Yeah, man. So I'm really big on techno scene, but I would say, I mean, nothing against other like places and spots, et cetera, but there's certain like technos that I go to. Like I've been to Soundcheck, Echo Stage. I've been there a couple times. It's cool, whatever. But then it's like I like the whole underground techno scene is kind of like the folks that
like
I
house
go to.
Music and stuff.
Yeah. So it's house. It's a little bit of everything. I wouldn't say it's only house, but it's just like it's not the shit you're gonna hear. What's it called? Play Steve Aoki or some shit.
It's not stereotypical.
Yeah,
stereotypical, right? That's what you're talking about.
I listen to some techno. I listen to some like D&B. I listen to like
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, that's dope. So if I'm a young kid and I'm trying to get into vintage, and I'm gonna ask the question for both sides. I want to pick up some vintage T-shirts or whatever the case. What advice would you give me?
Shop at Drifters or Thrift Lords. No, I'm joking.
Besides that.
I'm not joking. Shop with us. But
yeah,
also,
for real. Shop with Drifters or Thrift Lords.
Yeah, but I think first of all, like find what you're into. Like I feel like it's cool. It's always cool to have a cool T-shirt. It's always cool to have something cool on. It's even cooler if you really know what you're wearing. And like, you know, that doesn't mean that you got to be a fan of everything and all that, but like I feel like I connect with other connoisseurs. So like if I see someone that I know, like you're rocking something and you know exactly what you're rocking, I'm like, damn, like, all right, this guy, you know. So I feel like find your style, find who you are, and then like, you know, browse the local markets, check out the events, check out the small businesses, because there's so many small businesses out here that offer great prices. Tobes offers amazing prices. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, damn, that's not bad, you know. So yeah, I'll start there.
I mean, I'm gonna ask you that same question, but before I ask you that question, I think if anybody is starting to get into vintage and they want to build their closet, I think just go back to your childhood.
Facts. That's a big one.
Like whatever you like as a kid, just kind of tap into those things.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? I got into vintage because I used to go to all of the sneaker cons back in the day. So I got into vintage through sneakers, really. And I would go to the sneaker cons and I would take a couple of t-shirts with me, and they were selling more than the sneakers. And then I went to SneakerCon one year in New York, and I took a bunch of t-shirts and hats. And these dudes were beside me, the booth beside me, they were from VA. I actually forgot, I lost touch with them, but they were heavy into it. And they was like, bruh, when you come here, make sure you bring the vintage stuff. That's what people want. And then it took me down this crazy rabbit hole of vintage t-shirts to furniture to just everything that's vintage now. You know what I mean? So I just say tap into like the stuff do you like. Like if you I used to like Sergio Tacchini as a kid. I couldn't afford that stuff. So like me, like, you know, I got a jacket right now that's like made in Italy. That's like, to me, it's like, it's priceless. I would never even sell that. So it's like, if you tap into those things, you'd be good. So Tobes, from your standpoint, if you're getting into the vintage game and you want to collect some t-shirts or jackets, you know, Carhartt, whatever the case, what advice would you give to somebody so they don't get got?
Well, then the like thing I do tell like a lot of folks, I'm like, oh, so like, what do you do like when you like resell or look out for what you think, whatever, is finding your own lane and your own niche. Because I know for a fact there's certain things where it's like, I know like most stores wouldn't sell, but it fits the lane of what I sell. And then there are certain things, it's like, you know, I don't pick up too many of like the like higher price like pieces, like the ones that's like $300, $400, like maybe like randomly here and there. But then it's like, I feel a lot of people, unless you have the right connections from the very beginning, or you just have the right just group of people that you can sell to, just because you have expensive shirts, it doesn't mean you're going to become a good reseller.
That's a good one.
Preach.
I know a lot of people that have the same stuff that they've had forever because of like either overpricing or overvaluing or just not being good at marketing the product that they're selling.
Yeah. Or it's expensive, but it's really not rare. Yeah. You guys put this price on there, but it's just really not rare. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If something's sitting with me for a while, I'm gonna give you a good deal. If you come out to an event and you're there and you're like, yo, I want to buy these 3 t-shirts. I'm like, you know what? I got you, bro. Like I'm gonna knock everything down a little bit, give you a little bulk deal, because that goes down to the side of like giving people a good experience. You want to give people like a good experience with your business. And obviously you don't want to do it so much so that people are like, all right, bet, like I know Tobe's gonna throw me a deal, so I'm gonna go in there and get a deal. Like, nah, you know, but
you want him to come back too. You want him to come back too. Like,
there's a statistic with that. Like, how many of your customers are return customers?
Right.
And if that ratio is higher, that means you're doing good as a business. If you have 1,000 one-time customers, that's so much less valuable than 100 like come back.
Right.
You know.
yeah.
Because 100 people that come back,
they're coming back and they're telling like their friends. You know?
Yeah. And your name could be, you could make your name good or you can make your name bad. I've posted both of your stuff, and I've posted stuff from different people from all over the country, and people hit me up and be like, yeah, dude's official, right? Yeah, he's official. Yeah. And then it's kind of like, yeah, so you never know if you're doing good business and you're not trying to hit people in the head with something crazy or whatever the case, they're going to tell other people, and that's going to lead to better business.
I agree. Other people will put on for you.
Yeah. So I think that's it, fellas. Like, any last words about the vintage reselling game? Where you think we're going? We in a good space, or are we in a good space, or we in a bad space, or we just kind of like the game is just floating right now?
We're in a transitional state.
Yeah.
I think that we are in a place where social media and style and the state of the world and even the state of the economy are all crazy factors as to why like things are the way they are right now. And I think we're in a place where like, this is the first time I've ever looked at like the state of fashion or style or vintage or even business and like not been too sure about what's next. Cause like I'm really good with foresight, but like it's interesting right now. So we'll see where it goes.
What do you think?
Yeah, so kind of like the same as Rob is you don't really know what you're doing. You're just gonna spend a lot of money on shit that's not gonna sell. But if you do know how to just maneuver in whatever lane that you're in. I think over time, because like a lot of big money is starting to go into vintage now, in the long run, yeah, it won't be as rare per se in terms of like people that like resell and et cetera, but there's a lot more eyes on it. So if you do know how to maneuver and stick out, you're gonna really stick out because you know, I don't know about y'all, but at least with me back in like 2014, 15, I know people that would get shit from the thrift and I'm like with them and then they're like, oh yeah, like I got this at the mall. Oh yeah, I got this at the, I'm like, bro, I think I was with you, bro. Like it was 99 cents, bro. Just tell the shorty you got it from the thrift.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
So it's like, but like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
used to get made fun of for that. I remember this one girl. We're cool now, so I ain't gonna say her name, but like this
Don't
one
do it,
girl.
bro.
This
Don't
one
say
girl
her
was
name.
like, boy,
We're not controversial. We're not controversial.
she was like, boy, you be wearing used clothes, and like that was when it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing, and I was like, yeah, but like I'm wearing used clothes, and I'm still flyer than all y'all.
Facts.
And but before, one other thing I want to touch on, because you said something early that really struck me: investing in your business and investing in like. And investing doesn't just mean money. Like it means like learn about what you're getting into, learn about what you sell, learn about like the business itself. Because like unless you're well-rounded and well-learned in what you're doing, you're never gonna succeed.
Facts.
Like there's too many people out here that are just like looking for a quick way out. And I mean, hey, I get it. It's 2024. Like there's money to be made, but like it ain't easy money if you don't know what you're doing.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's it. This is this episode of Sessions where we talk about the resale game, the vintage game. These are two very intelligent young gentlemen. I talk to them behind the scenes with like in the DMs all the time. So, you know, it's always good to chop it up with y'all. And if you're going to be in the reselling and the vintage game, my advice to you is tap into your childhood, buy the things that you like. Don't go with the wave, don't go with the flow. Just go with what you like and build your own lane. So these gentlemen right here, you're talking about going to a rave, you're talking about having a monthly market where they build communities. They are actually adding something to that particular culture. So if you are going to be in a reselling game, in a vintage game, add to the culture. Don't just take away from it, add to the culture. So yeah, so that's that essence. So we're done with Sessions. Check out the next one.